Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? All right. Okay, I see a ton of you guys in here in this room. We've got 551 people and counting. So we're going to talk about a important topic today, consistency. Prior to each of these webinars, we generally do a recording of our podcast. So if you ever want, you can tune in earlier and log in earlier into the webinars, and you can actually watch us do the recording live for At the Table and be in part of one of the episodes as well. So you can always tune in to these episodes 30 minutes prior to the webinar beginning. If you wanna listen to the podcast we did today, it will also be available below this webinar in the link if you're watching the recording or anything like that. So having that said, consistency is, for those of you guys who are new, I have a very special announcement towards the end I'm going to make. So you want to stay around for that. This is something that we don't normally do. So I'm gonna announce that towards the end. Let's ask that $1 million question now. How many guys in here have an issue with consistency? Okay, one person says, I feel like I'm in therapy. Welcome to Urban Forex Therapy. Okay, so I see a bunch of people saying me. Okay, good. So consistency is a big thing. Now, I want you to try to put yourself in the position of you are not in your body anymore. Okay, yeah, I know. It's like, I thought, Navin, you were a serious guy. You're like ex-banker and you're trader and this and that. What is this mumbo jumbo? Just go with it, all right? You always come to my webinars. You trust me so far. Trust me with this. Go with it. You're out of your body and you're looking at yourself. Okay? Here we go. We're going to go hippie on you for today. You're out of your body. Okay? You're looking at yourself. And I want you to see yourself taking a trade. If you have to close your eyes for this, do it. Okay? Trade yogi. Okay, so close your eyes. Just imagine yourself at your desk how you normally trade. You are now out of your body and you're sitting next to you watching yourself trade. How many times do you feel that when you take a trade, you took a chance? Okay, I want you to just internally answer that. Okay, or if you have to type it in, you can type it in, up to you. That you took a chance. You took a chance. Now I want you to ask the second question. In case you're not taking a chance, how many times when you get into the trade, you feel it's a great trade, but as soon as it doesn't work a little bit, you start doubting yourself, thinking, what if it's wrong, actually? What if it's wrong? Okay? Now, here's another one. You're looking at yourself, the trade is going your way, and you close the trade in profit. You see the sheer excitement on your own face, but you know that person you're looking at is happy, but you know he or she is not able to probably replicate that again. But he or she wants to. He or she feels, oh man, if I can only do this so regularly, life would be so good. Right? But you feel you made that money, but you're like, did I actually make that money? Or was it simply luck? Yet once again. So what do you recognize when you're looking at yourself taking these trades? Every time you take it. Now, I want you to think about it. Is it a strategy issue? And let's say it's a strategy issue. You're looking at yourself and you're saying, all right, I'm going to get onto Google. I'm going to find, what should I type in Google? What is the best Forex strategy? Okay, so you see yourself typing that, and you're typing in Google, what is the best Forex strategy? And you come across a million of them. All of them have some kind of indicators or something, and you're like, all right, this is it. You take that strategy, you're trying to implement it to the best of your ability, and then you have one losing trade. How many of you can actually tell me that after that losing trade, do you feel you're on the wrong path? As soon as one loss or two losses, you feel, what am I doing? Maybe this is not right for me. I'm probably on the wrong path. Maybe it's the wrong strategy. So much stuff comes up. So much stuff comes up in your mind. And all that negativity that you might be holding in the corner, like a parent or a loved one or a well-wisher who might be telling you, hey man, don't trade Forex, it's dangerous. And when you get one or two losses, all that information starts flowing in where you start feeling horrible and saying, I know they're right, but I don't want to believe them. Let me see if I can find another trade. And then pounding on the losses, compounding the losses. It gets worse and worse and worse. And then now there's so much shame and guilt that we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. This is the root of the consistency problem. This is the root of the consistency problem. It is such a bad thing how we begin the journey that the journey gets closed and we don't like to talk about what happened. If you don't like to talk about what happened, you cannot fix things that are not working. Does that make sense? You're going to have to open that back up. You're going to have to be humble about it. You're going to have to come down to earth again and saying, it's okay. People will talk. Let them talk. They always talk until you shine. And then they say, oh, I knew one day you were going to be something. Oh, I've heard that so many times in my life. People will talk. It's what they do. What else will they do? They're bored because they have nothing else going on in their life. So they're going to say something about you at least. Just take it because you know that they're bored. So just accept it. It's okay. It's okay. But don't take it in because they don't define who you are. They don't define who you are. You define who you are. If you accept that information, oh, you're going down the wrong hole. Do not take in that information. Okay? Just let it come through you and pass through you. Okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to open up that chapter today of the things that we do bad. We close it and we put it away. We're going to open that up today. We're not going to put it away. We're going to dig deeper into it and find out what's actually wrong. How do I fix it? That begins your journey of consistency. Okay? We can switch strategy to strategy, but it will end up pointing at the same pain, which we're going to say, okay, well, then next strategy, next mentor, next system. Okay? Next job, next relationship. It's the same thing over and over again in any part of life, over and over again. Okay? You got to get good at saying, how do I deal with conflict? That's what it is. Okay? You heard Armo talk about it earlier, talking about post-analysis seems to be the single most important thing that a lot of the consistent traders are doing. So what is this post-analysis? It's to look back and see, what did I do wrong or right? How can I do more of what I did right? How can I do less of what I did wrong? The boring stuff. So let's talk about that. Okay? All right. Let me open up the whiteboard here. I'm going to draw a circle, and you guys are going to tell me if you guys can see the circle. One moment. I haven't drawn it yet. Just hang in there. Okay, just moving all the stuff around. Okay. All right. I'm going to draw a circle right now. I hope my face is not in the way, yeah? I think you guys can move my face around, but if you're watching this on the recording, yeah, you probably can't move my face around. Sorry about that. You're just going to have to deal with that brown guy somewhere on your screen. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. Let's say you want to do one thing. You like to trade Fibonacci. Okay. You guys have heard of Fibonacci before, right? The mathematician, he talks about different types of retracement in the markets, and the markets continue in a certain way. And you guys also know about support and resistance, just very basic stuff. Prices go up. If they pull back and they go up, this was resistance. it can become support. Simple thing. Yeah. Okay. So all of you guys know about support resistance, and most of you guys know about Fibonacci. Fibonacci is basically if you draw from this lowest point to that highest point, the Fibonacci tendency is around the 50% mark, or the 61.8% mark, or the 38.2, I believe. What is that? So one of those numbers. The market should generally respond and continue in its original direction. Okay, in a nutshell, that's not what Fibonacci was made for. He didn't have Forex trading back in the day, but we're just putting it in the Forex language of how Fibonacci is used. Okay, so far so good? All right. Let's say this is the strategy you work with. You work with the strategy of prices, when they go up and they make a new high, if they come back, I like to buy that. Super simple. That's a strategy that you do. Now, when prices come back and they do that, and you hit the buy right around those areas, you notice prices do this. Okay? And that might have stopped you out first. Now think about it. Take a moment and reimagine yourself when you did that trade. Imagine you're sitting next to yourself and watching yourself trade that. You did the buy where I have the arrow, and you put your stop loss below that buy, and it stops you out, and it goes in your favor. Two things are going to happen. You're going to be very upset, right? And two, in case you're not upset and you feel FOMO, you might enter the buy here by chasing it, by saying, oh, it's a buy, and you end up catching the buy up there. Yes or no? Do you guys agree? These are the only two options. Okay, there is no other option. Okay, the third option is I don't do anything and I do post-analysis. That most people don't do. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Why doesn't that happen? Why can't we take a moment, sit back and be like, all right, what just happened? What just happened? All right, so let's talk about this. So we know a certain piece in our mind goes, here we go. A certain piece in our mind goes, aha, I knew it. I knew it's going to go up. So our brain is focusing on, it worked. It worked. Right? Right? It worked. But the reality is we're not focusing on, hey, but I got stopped first. I got stopped first. The correct voice that should be coming to you saying, yeah, but you didn't make any money. And the devil sitting there next to you is trying to keep you calm and enjoy the moment by saying, but you knew the direction. You told all your friends it's going to be a buy, and it was a buy. So cool, right? We need to solve this. We need to solve that. We don't care to look good by saying, I knew the direction. No one cares. No one cares. If you really ask your friends who you might be giving that call to, they don't care also. That's the reality. They actually don't care. They're just going to look back at you and say, good for you, buddy. Good for you. But they don't care. So you need to let go of that ego of, I know which way the markets are going to go. Let's go with the idea of, I don't know which way the markets are going to go. Can we begin learning from that moment onwards? When we accept these words, only then your learning begins. Just like when you started trading, you started with this notion. All the knowledge you have right now comes from this notion. The moment you remove this word, your learning stops. The moment you remove that word, your learning stops right then and there. As you age, that word disappears. As you get more ego, ego will replace this word for you. Does that make sense? So you need to humble down to continue the learning process so you can fix what's wrong. Okay? So now let's talk about what's actually wrong. Okay, we're just keeping it simple so far. We're keeping it simple. So we got stopped here, and now we're coming to a conclusion of, maybe my price of the line I drew is not the same line everybody draws. What if the line is supposed to be lower? Okay, so you do that, and you come back the next time around, and the next trade that you do does this. Okay, right? It's like, that's the next phase, and you're sitting through and it's like, what the? Are you kidding me? I trained to make it better, but it made it worse. It made it worse, and now I'm thinking, should I actually buy it sooner? Should I buy it sooner? Like, what is wrong with this trade? So, in this process, what you're doing is you're searching. This search cannot stop. It cannot stop until you come up with a solid explanation over and over and over again. Never end this search. If you truly are searching for the answer, you will find it. There's a saying in the ancient languages saying, if you even want to look for God, you'll find him. Okay? So open up your search and don't turn back. Just keep searching for the answer. You will find it. But you got to be looking for it constantly. Okay? And that's how you get smarter and smarter and smarter. And you learn more and more about the markets than ever before. Okay? But you cannot stop the learning. So you're doing more post-analysis. You're figuring out, okay, so I'm doing all of this stuff, and I don't know why prices are going from here, sometimes from here, or sometimes from here. How do I figure that out? And then you watch a webinar. And there's this brown guy with hair slicked backwards. Okay? He's talking like he's running some therapy classes, and he's saying, welcome to Urban Forex. Let me show you how the markets move and why they move. He teaches you the why, and you're sitting there saying, I'm here to solve my thing, which is, how do I buy this? I don't know how to buy that. In his webinars, in my webinars, okay, if you haven't picked up on that yet, in my webinars, you pick up on a certain piece of information when I teach you something like this. The markets are going sideways. They're not going anywhere. There's 3 states of the market. 3 states of the market. What are the 3 states? For those, many of you guys are students. What are the 3 states of the markets? Okay, range, channel, trend. Done. These are the 3 states. One state is range, which is sideways. Okay. The second state is trend, which is higher high, higher lows, or lower high, lower lows. And the final state is channel, which is very deep pullbacks, but inching slightly higher. So far, so good? Am I drawing too close to my face? Yeah, I think I'm drawing too close to my face, right? All right, I'll be careful. I'll be careful. Okay. So these are the 3 states, not New York, Pennsylvania, and Jersey. No, not those states. The 3 states of the market, okay? All right, now here we go. Let's take it a step further. In one of these webinars, you learn a basic knowledge of, hey, when you break this range, when you break that range, because the range hasn't been broken too hard, you realize, oh, I'm not sure if this is a trend, which will do this and leave, or I'm not sure if this is going to be a channel, which is going to come down very low and leave. So by learning a little technique where it says, well, see how big the break is based on the size of the break compared to the size of the range, you will sort of have an idea of how deep you're going to get a pullback. And then you have an epiphany. You're like, oh, that changes everything. Ah, like all those memes you see, right? People screaming like, ah. It's like, so you're going through that phase of like, oh, I've been in this industry so long. How come I never saw that? Doesn't matter. You saw it now. You try to make it better. You do a trade. You do the buy right here, and it still stops you out a little bit, and it goes, and you're like, why didn't it go from here? Why did it come slightly lower? Okay, but one thing that you didn't notice is you didn't buy it from up here at least. That's a good thing. You're building a bit more consistency. Okay, you're still trying to do that simple thing of I want to buy on top of my SNR. I want to buy on top of my SNR, right? But you see what we're doing is by you staying alert and trying to take in more information, you're trying to find out how can I make my buys better? If you suddenly one day come across someone says, you know what, support resistance doesn't work, that'll throw you off your game. That'll throw you off your game. You need to stay put and try to understand. The more you learn about that one specific topic, the more you go deeper and deeper into it, the better you're going to become at trading support and resistance. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So wherever you acquire your knowledge, as long as you're applying it towards what you're trying to do, you get better and better and better. All you have to do is say, I don't know how to do this. Show me. Okay? And someone might give you one idea. Someone might give you another idea. It's your job to take all those ideas in and be like, I like that one, but I don't like that one. Okay, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Okay. I'm going to teach you guys one little technique. Okay, ready? Okay, I'm going to remove all this. One thing I want you guys all to know as basics, as very basics, because this basics is like a fundamental knowledge, and I need to get you guys all the fundamental knowledge before you even do any type of trading. Okay, the fundamental knowledge is markets are coming down, let's say, coming down, coming down, coming down. Now they're going sideways, and now they're going up and up and up and up. Would you say these are support resistance trades? Right? These are all support resistance trades, correct? All right. Now, I want you to understand one concept of you can have the same pattern, but not all are equal. You might be like, what the hell? But you drew it so perfectly. I know, thank you, my drawings are awesome. But still, not all pullbacks are exactly the same. Now, let's explain the question why. Okay, I'm going to use a certain amount of names, right? Okay, so Marcus, Jason, Kasten, Yavor, Eric. All of you guys are on one team as buyers. Okay, if you're a buyer, where do you want to buy from? What's the concept of stock trading? How do you buy? Buy low, sell high, right? Common sense. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Like it's like you can just write that on your wall. Buy low, sell high, right? Okay. Now, I want you to understand when prices are coming down, everyone thinks the market is going down. Who knows the markets are going to go up? Who do you think knows that? Who do you think has that much money to push the market up? That's a very, very large player. That's a very large player. Okay? The fact that they can turn a dropping market, they can buy so much of it that they make the markets actually turn. What happens in this churn of as the big boys are buying? So all those names I've called out, these are all of you guys, right? You guys are all the big boys in here. Yep. All of you guys, you're like, yeah, baby, we're making some money. Nice, shiny teeth. You're like smiling, money in the bank. You're like, yeah, let's do this. Money's making money. It's going up. It starts pulling back. How do you feel? Okay. It goes up. You're like, oh, yeah, making double, making more than I was before. How do you feel? Good. Prices come down. It's like, ugh. Then it goes up again. How do you feel? Then it comes down again. At certain points, when it keeps coming down, won't it start to scare you at some point, saying, whoa, whoa, I don't think the flow has much left in it. Let's start to cash out. Let's start to cash out. These big boys are now selling. They're removing their money. They're removing their money. But what happens to the general public when they see an uptrend like this? Oh, I also want to buy. I also want to buy. They join all the buys up here. All the buys up here. So far, so good. You are buying what the larger player is getting rid of. You are buying what the larger player is getting rid of. Right? Simple enough. You guys get the logic and the flow of how the markets flow left and right. So now let's put it into a nutshell. Let's put it into a nutshell. So that means, Navin, I want to be buying this, but then as it gets higher and higher, I don't want to be buying anymore. Because I don't know at what point it's going to collapse and die on me. And that is correct. And that is correct. This is why sometimes your support and resistance will work absolutely fantastically, but there will be at times where your support and resistance, who used to work absolutely fantastically, suddenly will do, and you're like, what just happened? That was a perfect support and resistance. I drew it perfectly. He came down 50%. Mr. Fibonacci also signed off on it. The stars were aligned. The moon was in one location. Mars was in one location. I asked my astrologer. He said, go for it. My mom said, you're a good boy, do it. My dog was looking at me saying, good job, you can do this. What happened? Context is wrong. Context is wrong. So now you're learning a new thing. You're like, okay, I'm a support and resistance trader, and I learned a thing about how much does the range break. Based on that, I'll learn how deep it can come. That will change the way I do my buys from support and resistance. Cool, cool, cool. That's tip number one. Tip number two, the context. If I buy too late in the trend, I can get in trouble. Okay. But you see what's happening here? You're not learning a new system. You're learning to get better at what you're trying to do. You need to have that hunger to solve that problem over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, here's a simple example of context. Okay. Here's a nice chair. That's you sitting in your chair. And this is, let's say this is the US. Okay. You're sitting in the chair. You're chilling. A person walks into your house and you are like, hello, can I help you? What are you doing in my house? Bang. Okay, horrible gun, you get the idea. And the guy is dead. Person came into your house, no permission of yours, and you shot him. He's dead. No good, no good, no good. Here's another context now. Same thing. Let's switch the story around a little bit. The guy comes in to tell you, hey, someone's robbing your car. Someone's robbing your car, be careful. Now, do you want to shoot him? It's the same situation. Someone walked into your house aggressively, but now you don't want to shoot him. Now you're like, oh, well, why don't you have a seat? Let's have a beer together after we kill that guy outside robbing my car. Right? It's a whole different story. He's your buddy now. So if we trade so simply and we just don't take into context, unnecessarily people will die. Okay? That's the moral of the story. Don't kill people for no reason. It's not cool. Okay. Okay. Weird example. And we at Urban Forex, we do not endorse gun violence whatsoever. If you own a gun, you are in my naughty list. Okay. So, but you can. It's your choice. But I don't like it. All right. So far, so good. You guys get the idea why context is important. I see people saying, "Sorry, I'm late. I just came into the webinar, and you're talking about robbing cars." It's like, okay, context is important. Like, I'm not teaching how to rob cars. Like, context, man. Okay, there's the example right there. Okay, so there you have it, right? And would you say we have the same problem in real life with context? In real life, when we judge people or judge a situation, we have a context issue, right? We don't like to solve the thing. We just like to take action or judge it on the spot. We don't like to absorb the context and be like, oh, that makes sense. Therefore, I will respond accordingly. Right? So context is everything. Context is everything. Now let's take it a step further. So now you know in your trading, there's more to it than just a beautiful design. Okay, just a beautiful design won't get you anywhere. This right here is a beautiful design. If you have nice, colorful moving averages like this, oh, look at that. Oh, such a beauty. Nice, nice. Let me. Oh, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Like, just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, lots of MAs, lots of moving averages, crossovers, and now your prices get up to here, and everyone is screaming, "You gotta sell, man! You gotta sell!" You can now be that guy like, wait, context, everybody, context. Okay? So the key to trading at the end of the day, is what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And what's the purpose? This needs to be answered immediately. Immediately. I want you to know there's only two answers to this. What do you think is the right answer? This one, number one, or number two? It's always going to be number two. It's always going to be number two. You know why? Take a look at this. Market's going up, pulls back, goes up, pulls back. Let's say your job is to buy from SNR. He comes down lower and you're like, oh, well, I was going to buy it there, but it doesn't look good. And then he does this. And you're like, oh no. And you buy it there. What did you just answer from number one and number two? Which one did you go for? Being right or going after the money? You went after number one. You're trying to prove yourself right, but you're not thinking about, hey, I can't buy too high. That's too close to resistance. What if they hit it again? I don't know why I'm doing this game. I forgot. For some reason, I want this now. When did that happen? When did being right become more important than making money? Didn't I join this industry to make money? What just happened? Who hijacked my brain? And why do I want to be right? Who am I trying to prove myself to? You got to remove that immediately. Remove that immediately. So far, so good? Okay. Because this can come into a lot of problems about what is actually the right thing to do and what is the idea of, oh, I was right, therefore let me run after it. Okay. Let's take it a step further. Let's take you down the line 2 years. You're now in the trading seat for 2 years. You're learning many things. You're learning lots of techniques. You're learning lots of tips and tricks. You're still trying to master support and resistance. And then you see an ad. And there's a guy in the ad with a hat. The hat pointed backwards. And he says, bruh. I got this new Forex trading system, and all you got to do is I will give you a buy or a sell button. And whenever I say, brah, you buy, you buy. Because, brah, you've seen my Lamborghini in the back? That's how I trade. What happened to your hard work of 2 years? Why is this so enticing? Why is it so enticing? Why is bruh suddenly more important than your 2 years of hard work? Right? Yeah, and he's got a necklace down to his feet, full of gold. It's like, okay, why does bruh have the answer, and why don't you have the answer? What does bruh know? Right? So there's obviously lots of doubts that you will get along the way, which you're going to start thinking, have I been doing it wrong this whole years? That's what begins the doubt. And this is where these guys thrive. This is where these guys thrive. That's where they make all their money. Now, remember what we talked about in the beginning of the webinar. What is the number one goal of consistency? What's the number one goal of consistency? Size. If you know how to trade well, you will size up dramatically, a lot, constantly. You will never see bruh trade with size. You'll see him trading micro lots, mini lots, fake accounts, MT4. Bruh will never make it. But you need to know your goal is consistency. Your goal is consistency, because that's the only way you're going to make it from this market. Okay? No, there's sorry, a lot of you guys are asking about MT4. There's nothing wrong with MT4. Sorry, I opened up a can of worms there. There's nothing wrong with MT4. It's just MT4 when it was made back in the day. It had dealer plugins and all that stuff. It was made for the broker, not the trader. Okay, so of course they've done away with all that stuff now. They're probably much cleaner and beautiful and rosy and donating to cows and children everywhere around the world. But I've had a bad experience with them in the past. Therefore, I no longer see them in the same light like I used to. Okay, but not a bad software. They're great. They're great software. Okay. Now let's take it further. If you get better at this, and you get that buy-in, if you get better at that, and you know 9 out of 10 times whenever that happens, you do it well, what is the absolute next thing you're gonna do? What is the evolution of that trader? Size. There is no other way. It's just size. The evolution is not go out there and buy a Ferrari and get a necklace that shines so much that it blinds people along the way. No, that's not the evolution. The evolution is, ooh, let's see what else I can do. It's size. It's a curiosity will increase of like, oh, can I go bigger? That's just the normal evolution of a trader. Okay? So consistency is the main thing. Okay, right now I know for many traders who are starting off, let's talk about it. What are some of the bigger things for many traders when they're starting off? What's the big thing? What's the big headache? Don't I need to know what to do first before I can learn to make it consistent, and then I can do size? Isn't that like the biggest concern? Well, then where do I begin? Do I do support resistance? Do I do that Fibonacci guy? Do I do that astrological Forex? Do I follow John Wick 12615 on Telegram because he's selling signals for $10? John Wick himself. Like, no, like, what's the answer? What's the answer? The key is, do you want to actually learn trading, or do you want to simply follow someone? There's that little difference there. You can't learn something so simple and then someone says, okay, I've taught you everything I know, good luck. I'm going to tell you right now, and I want you all to be honest with me. Is trading easy that it can be done in 1 month? No. Okay? That's the unfortunate, hard truth. However, and all those ideas of when I get rich, I'm going to buy a Ferrari, is that dream bad? Absolutely not. If that's what drives you, then you do that. You do that. But don't forget, you're in this industry to make money, not to be right. So if you put that aside of being right, you open the doors of what else do I need to know about how I trade to get more consistent. So that's the stage 2. Stage 3 is now that I'm getting a little bit more consistent, how can I size up? Stage 4 is now that I've sized up, how can I let that trade run longer? Can that trade even run longer? What if we take it all the way down to stage 1? What do you think stage 1 is? What do you think stage 1 is? How do I trade? How does the market work? What do I need to look out for? When should I trade? Is this supposed to be even a buy? What's the plan? And the number one thing that I always like to teach is this piece here. Okay, I'm going to bring you back to the whiteboard. Is always remember that one constant thing that will stay true to you inside your gut, which is if I give you an apple for $2 and you know all your friends are buying that apple for $10, does a light bulb go off in your head? If I am selling you a car for $10 and you know everyone is buying that same car for $1,000, does a light bulb go off in your head? Why do you need 40 cars? You're not going to drive 40 cars. It's because you now understand business. You're like, if I buy 40 of those and I sell 40 of those, I will make the difference between the two and I'll be rich. If I can only do this over and over and over again. So what essentially are you doing? What are you actually doing that's true to your nature, to who you really are? What are you actually doing? What's that answer to that question? What are you looking for? You're looking for a deal. You're looking for a bargain. You're looking for a discount. This is the name of the game. If you lose these 3 words from the notion of why you're trading, it's game over before you even begin. So when prices go up and they pull back and they go up and you're a pullback trader like that, is the good deal here, here, here? Or is the good deal here, here, here? The first 3 or second 3? The first 3. I don't care how beautiful the second 3 looks. I don't care how many MAs are crossing over. I don't care how many dogs and uncles and aunties are saying, that's the buy. Even if Elon Musk knocks on your door and says, that's the buy, you are like, that's not a good deal. The only way that's going to be a good deal is if I know for a certain fact price will end up here. And we don't know that. If we do, we might get arrested because that's inside trading. But we do know these are good deals. So isn't our job supposed to be, how can we do this the best? This part, that portion right there needs to be in your nature of solving. How can I buy that portion? This will sit well with you as a trader, as a human being, because you are already born with that mindset. You're born with it. There's nothing you need to learn. You already have it. You're just changing the word from Apple and car. You're saying Euro USD. If I know he needs to go up again and I just got a discount, can I buy it at whatever these prices are and then take them up higher? But if they already go up and then I buy it up here, that doesn't sound like a good deal. That doesn't sound smart at all. Does that make sense? That's where the notion comes of support and resistance trading is a good way to trade. Why? Because it comes with the fundamental backing of you're buying a good deal if you do that. Oh, so that's a strategy I can work on. If the strategy is this, okay, you see that? The price is $10, the price is $5. If the price breaks out and the price is $12, you must buy it. Excuse me? I'm sorry, what just happened? It's like you want me to buy $12 when I knew the whole time it was bouncing around 10 and 5? Why would I do that? How do I know it's going to go up to 16? I don't know. But if that 12 comes down to 10 again and it hovers around and it's getting ready to go back up, I'm like, ooh, I'll take that deal. I'll take that deal. Let's do this. Because I saw earlier today there is some demand for it. I'm not using any words like Euro USD or Pound USD or anything. I'm saying remove those words, look at the chart and saying, is that a good deal? Do you understand a good deal? And begin your journey from that mindset. Whatever system you trade, whatever strategy you have, that's your groundwork. If that groundwork is missing, everything drops out of the sky. Nothing works. Everything falls because it's wrong. How many of you guys just had an aha moment just by understanding these nasty little squiggly lines that I've been drawing today? It's like, yeah, good. I'm glad because a lot of the times when you or I, every time we look around, there's this notion of, I want to be a trader. I want to be a trader. But we never take a moment and sit down and be like, what is a trader actually? What is a trader supposed to do? Instead of a trader supposed to make money and buy a Ferrari. I get that part. But that's the after effect. How do I become the trader itself before I go and buy the Ferrari? I get the Ferrari part. What does a trader do? What's his job? Let's understand that first. Yeah, his job is to buy at the best available price. His job is not only to buy at the best available price, his job is to know, if I buy now, will it go down lower or will it go up immediately? Oh, now we got timing. Oh, are you such a good trader that you can master timing? Yeah, that's the next stage. If you know this is a good deal, then it's all about timing. You don't want to buy too early. You don't want to buy too late. Then you can work on this part. That's later. That's later. But the fundamental piece is, I need that discount. Here's another thing. At what point would you say the discount has been ruined? At what point would you say the discount is gone nuts? It's gone berserk. If the prices come down lower, so let's say this is $10, this is $20, and the price right now is at 14. Okay, so you're like, oh, 14 is a good deal. I saw people were willing to pay $20 earlier today. Now it's at 14. All right, maybe it can go back up. Not yet. Oh, I see it's going back up. Okay, I'll buy it at 15. Here we go. People are starting to buy it again. All right, that's one way. That's a discount working in your favor. But what if it doesn't work? What if it does 12, 11, 9? Now it's like, what's going on? Now, do you understand where your stop loss needs to be? Where your stop loss needs to be? Because that doesn't make any sense. That's not a good deal anymore. So your stop loss is simply, the deal doesn't make any sense. That's what a stop loss is there for, because the deal is weird now. It makes no sense. So far, so good. No pattern discussion. No discussion of what pair is this exactly. How many candles do I need to look at? None of that stuff. None of that stuff. None of the stuff that people think is important. It's not important, all that stuff. What's important is, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? If you solve that, then you can layer the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. Yeah, does that make sense? So now, earlier, okay, how many of you guys had an aha moment today? Yeah, just breakthrough in just the thinking. You were able to observe yourself and see, hey, I'm making silly mistakes actually. When I forgot, why am I in this industry to begin with? I'm here to make money, not to be right. That doesn't, well, I think I lost path, right? We get back on track. It's never too late. Never say, oh, I'm too late. I'm too old. No, 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 no. You get back on track. You are here. We are here. We go together. We're going to move forward inch by inch, inch by inch. If that takes 1 year, do it. If that takes 2 years, do it. Who cares? Who cares? Because the pay that you earn from trading is far superior than anything else you have ever seen. I promise you that. I promise you that. Okay? It takes just as much work as any other degree that you would do, but you just got to push. You got to stick your nose in there and be like, I got to learn, I got to get better. I got to learn, I got to get better. And you keep on walking 1 inch at a time until you cross that desert. And then you rake in your profits. You're raking your profits, right? Now, I promised you guys in the beginning of this webinar, for those of you guys who are new, how many of you guys were new in this webinar? How many of you guys were new in this webinar? Okay, so we got a bunch of you guys who are new and many of you guys who are have been here before. I don't normally do this, but here we go. One of the programs that we have at Urban Forex is the Mastering Price Action 2.0. That's like the starting grounds that we have of Urban Forex before we go into some of the more serious topics like the Iconic Trader program or the Elite Community and all that stuff, where we go, hands deep, and it's like, all right, how do you make money day in and day out? How do you get more consistent? How do you build upon what you've learned? But if you want to lift off in the right way, the Mastering Price Action is a 8-week long program that comes with daily support. You can message us anytime you want. We'll assist you with any of the lessons. It's released week after week. You get to keep it. It never gets taken away from you. I show you exactly what you need to see in the market so you can at least get started in the market in the right track and start going from that and saying, now I must build consistency because I know what I need to do. At least I can see that board. If you're an archer, at least I see the board. Now my goal is to hit that bullseye. Come on. How do I get better and better at hitting at that bullseye? But at least I know what I'm aiming for. I'm no longer in the dark. Now, what the special is, what I wanted to say is a special thing that I wanted to talk about at the end of this webinar, is the 4th of July is coming up, which we have one of our biggest promotions that we do. All of you guys who are in this webinar, as a special announcement and a special promotion for you guys, I'm going to allow you guys to pick up the Mastering Price Action 2.0 today at the 4th of July rates right now. Only for those of you guys who are in this webinar. Okay, you'll be able to pick it up. The package is a $6,000 package, and we reduced it, and we priced it just right for $149 as a 4th of July special. You can pick it up today for less than $90. Okay, you can pick it up today for less than $90. Again, 4th of July promotion available today. Where you can get this from is www.urbanforex.com/webinar. Okay, I'll have someone from the team type it into the chat. It's www.urbanforex.com/webinar. In fact, I'll open it up on my screen so you guys know what it looks like, so you're not like, am I on the right page? Let me open it up. /webinar. Give me a second here, and I'll show my screen to you here. Okay. Yeah, is it you guys see my screen now? Okay, so this is the screen you will see. So it is an 8-week long course, Many of you guys in this room already have it. How many of you guys here actually already have the program? Okay, like tons of you already have the program. Okay, so this is a special deal for all of you guys who have not joined this program. Okay, all of these reviews you see are legit reviews. Okay, if it was not legit, I'd give myself a 5.0. But these are legit reviews. We take in all feedback honestly as much as we can. And all of you guys, I wish you guys can see all the reviews from the people in the chat actually saying how much they like the program. So I really wish to see a lot of you guys in this webinar picking up the Mastering Price Action 2.0, taking that leap forward to make sure, all right, now I know what to do. Now I know how to focus on where to go for my consistency and how to build layer by layer, layer by layer. All of you guys who already have the program, don't worry, if you're already on our waiting list on Urban Forex regarding the 4th of... How many of you guys here are on the waiting list for 4th of July? Because we're doing something we've never done before. We're releasing the 4th of July promotion early because we have limited availability. You guys know how much we work on our support side, right? We work super, super hard on support. Having that said, because we work super hard on support, we can't allow thousands of people to come in. It's too hard. It's too hard to answer all the questions and support. We can't give individualized good support. Having that said, we're limiting the number of people who can come in. But those of you guys who are already fans of Urban Forex, you guys will get first access to the 4th of July promotions through that waiting list before 4th of July. And if everything sells out, we won't have a 4th of July promotion. Okay. If everything sells out, we might not even do it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give our fans the first access first. Okay. Before we make it available to the rest of the world. All right. Now, there's a lot of updates and stuff coming in to the Mastering Price Action 2.0. The ITP is getting bigger. We're doing tons of upgrades on the back end constantly to make sure your experience is top notch. The MPA webinars are getting more and more refined. They're getting tighter. Every time I feel I can teach certain things in a certain way, I'll come out and explain it to you. Okay, we'll do webinars again together. We'll talk about it. So there's a lot of stuff to be learned in this 8 weeks. Again, it's not limited to 8 weeks. It is for yours to keep. And you can come back at it and revisit the lessons as many times as you want, whenever you want. And even whenever you do that, whenever that might be, if there's a question, ask us. We'll assist you on it. Okay? So we're around for support no matter when you go through that program, even if it's later down the line, that's okay. As a trader, what is our thing? What do we do as traders? If there's a deal, we grab it. I've just given you a deal of a lifetime. Okay, I've given you a deal of a lifetime, and it also comes with a risk-free money-back guarantee. So if for whatsoever reason in 30 days you don't feel right, you don't like how this brown man is teaching you, simply drop us an email and we'll get your money back. Yeah, so I'm very happy. I'm pretty sure you're gonna really, really like this program. I spent a lot of time, effort, and energy and love into this program to make sure it is super easy to understand, but not simplistic. Okay, there's a difference there. Many programs are simplistic. It's like, what am I learning? This sounds nonsense. You know, it's like, am I just learning how to draw support and resistance lines? What is this? You got to know why we are trading. What makes this thing work? Why is this important? We get through all of that stuff and then go week after week. We're breaking down every barrier of what do you need to actually do? What do you need to actually do? And then we layer it on top. So I see many people asking about, what about if I already have the MPA 2.0? For those of you guys looking for the next products, for the ones that are like at the ITP or the higher level, okay, or you're looking for the entire bundle, then if you're in the waiting list for the 4th of July, then you'll get first access to it. All of you guys who are picking up the Mastering Price Action 2.0 today, you will also automatically be enrolled as a early bird for the 4th of July as well, in case you want to pick up more programs and get the whole deal right now, so that way you can go through it at your convenience whenever you want to later. That's fine. We'll give you guys the opportunity to do that as well, as it's only fair. It's only fair. Okay. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Again, if you want to pick up the MPA 2.0, it's urbanforex.com/webinar. I think you have to put www in front. www.urbanforex.com/webinar. And thank you all for coming in again. It's always a pleasure to see some familiar names. Until next time, guys. Thanks. Bye for now.